Hi, my name is David Hauser. Welcome to this segment of Oceans of Love. I'm here with Ari, and how do I pronounce your last name?
It's Ayra Soleimani.
Soleimani. Sounds more Italian.
Thank you.
So anyway, today we're here to talk about what's on your mind. Ask me any questions about anything.
Well, I'd say the past year or so, I've been really interested in a lot of spirituality kind of stuff and all those kind of out-of-body stuff and all that kind of things. I've been thinking a lot about like Stoicism and like ways of life like that. And I actually learned that Stoicism is very similar to Buddhism, which I understand that you're Buddhist, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Marcus was very keen on Buddhist philosophy. Aristotle brought that in. Neoplatonism is very much based in Buddhism, and it's really fundamentally being a human.
Yeah.
And it's something that we come into this world and we really don't understand what that means, just like we don't understand what love means. So we have to sort of feel our way and grope around in the dark, unless you hear somebody who has a philosophical view or read something that, turns on the light and gives you the verbiage to communicate something you innately understand.
Exactly. Yeah, Stoicism, I still have so much to learn about it, but it's given me some kind of control over myself, because I think that's one of the main things. It gives you control over your mind. It tells you that you have control over your mind. And that's something that I don't think most people understand, that it's your mind, it's your body. You should have control over it. You shouldn't let it ramble on. And that's really given me like a grip, when these like some hard times happen. I just got to learn like, hey, I have control. Like, it's my body,
Well, it's more than just your body, it's your soul. And it's your awareness taking charge, because our mind wants us to believe a lot of things and make up stories about things that it's trying to grasp and understand. So instead of it being the servant of awareness, it dominates awareness with all these ideas. So when awareness takes charge over the mind, then you can see things as they are.
Exactly. Yeah, something that my dad actually says a lot is when you're in a difficult situation, you're in the fire. But if you kind of just like step out a bit and you look outside of the fire, you can see how small the fire can actually be, and it really gives you that awareness that it's not that bad. It's a really small situation. But when you're in the fire, you're surrounded by all these flames and you can't see anything but flame. And that's something that I always think about. It's just step out a little bit, become aware, and then I think it's great.
Being like your dad says, and he's absolutely right, we have a tendency to become myopic about whatever we're viewing at the time, because we are detached from the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know what the big picture is. When you can take yourself and move back and see the big picture. Remember that times 10 thing that was on the internet for a while, where you could like look at a leaf and then go back.
Oh yes,
yes. And go back, and then you're seeing the entire universe. That's the omnipotent view.
Mm-hmm.
That's seeing the big picture. Impermanence is in Buddhism is the way they define it. And when you see things as impermanent, then there's no rush to
exactly.
down the freeway, to get there on time, because you'll be there at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing in Stoicism that I'm sure Buddhism says too is like nothing lasts forever. So everything that you have, it's not gonna be there forever. And one of the analogies that I learned recently is if you have a coffee mug that was given to you by your great grandmother that you love so dearly, and she's passed away, and you only have this mug of her, and you drink coffee every morning from that mug, and you happen to drop it and it breaks. It shows like, sure, you can be sad about that mug breaking, but they bring this like way of thinking where it's been returned from where it was before. So it's not gone from you, it's returned to where it was. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be there forever. It was going to leave eventually. So it matters that while you had it, you understood what you had and you appreciated it enough so that when it's gone, when it's returned, you're all right.
In quantum view, it's never left. It's always here. It's been here in perpetuity. A lot of people like to frame existence as one long day. And so that stain of that memory is always alive, you know, within you and within, you know, the collective, by no fruition of its own. It's just a part and parcel of all the aggregate.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that goes with everything in life, not just the coffee mug. It goes with loved ones and everything like that.
Definitely with loved ones. I feel my ancestors with me all the time. One of the cool things is, you know, because I'm from the farm country, Iowa, so we have our own family cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And when I was young, working on the farm every summer, we used to go there to play hide and seek.
Oh, wow.
And scare the hell out of each other. But another component of it was just being with our ancestors and feeling them and feeling the timelessness of existence and all the, you know, dependent origination of you know, how if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for them, and then their ancestors, they wouldn't be here, and on and on and on, in perpetuity back to who knows what.
Yeah, it's very hard to comprehend, like, there's all these people that are related to you and how far back it goes. It's just like, you can't even, like, I can't even grasp that idea that these people who are related to me in my blood, they go that far back. And I mean, and I'm actually curious, what do you mean that you feel them with you? You feel your ancestors with you? How does that?
Well, you know, when you reach sort of this awareness, like I used to like to just lay in the grass when I was young and hear the crows and hear the wind, and I felt like the wind was talking to me when I was really little, because I could ask questions and I would hear answers. So it's a matter of sensitivity, and I've always been sensitive to you know, my relationship to time-space, and I am able to see beyond the constructs of the material world, and especially through my dreams, and be in contact with these other beings by no volition of my own. It just happened.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think children have that. I think children are really in touch with that big picture universe. You know, for me, it was endearing because of the level of compassion that I encountered in this other realm that I thought was perfectly normal.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know everybody else wasn't having my experience. I couldn't wait to go to sleep at night because I got to hang out with my ancestors and go through time-space.
Wow. Why do you think it is that you've had that experience and that I guess most people have not had that experience? Is it just luck, or?
No, it wasn't luck, because a lot of times I felt like it was a curse when I felt like I was the odd person. I was different than everybody else in that regard. We all have gifts and they all come out in different ways, and I guess these were my gifts, but it wasn't something I asked for.
Yeah.
It was something that I had to come to terms with, and then I had to figure out what was happening to me, because at that time when I was growing up, if you had something that was unusual, they were giving you pills for that. So I saw that and I laid low.
Yeah.
And I started searching. Back then we didn't have the internet, so I used my thumb and hitchhiked from LA to Berkeley and hung out with llamas and speakers, and
wow.
Met incredible people, you know, whether they were Maharishi Mahesh Yogi or Baba Ram Das, Timothy Leary.
Wow.
So I was looking for answers, and I think a lot of us are looking for answers. And it's when you hear the truth, something clicks inside of you, and you remember, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. Yeah, it might have like been there the whole time, like you just didn't really realize it, that's what it was.
Yes, it's because of language. You pop into this realm speaking the language you may understand and know is totally different than the language that you are being born into. and you have to start over. But it doesn't mean the feelings are, because we all have a lexicon of feelings.
Of course.
It's just being able to interpret those into the common phrase, the colloquialism of the indigenous people of this planet.
Wow, yeah. I've actually thought about this a little bit with a couple of my friends, and I'm sure a lot of people have thought about this too. It's like the languages that we speak, English, Spanish, any language, it doesn't do it justice. It doesn't give you enough freedom to say what you want to say. Like at times I'll have these thoughts and I just can't put them into words. I can't. And I understand it perfectly in my mind though. I understand it so clearly, but I just can't tell other people because it just wouldn't make sense. And it's kind of frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
It's why I spent my life trying to describe these things the best I could in English. But I have a lot of compassion for people who come from other countries because they want to communicate these deep emotional experiences that they're having, and they just don't have the tools for it. But another one of my experiences in traveling around the world is in the Canary Islands, where not many spoke English, but they spoke German, French, and other Spanish, of course. But we all understood each other just by looking at each other, just by being present with each other. And I got invited to things and did things with perfect strangers because they felt something from me. And I felt something from them. And we could communicate with eye contact and smiles. And it was beautiful. But I know what you mean. Getting down to the minutia of trying to encapsulate your experience in a language is very, very daunting, at least.
Yes, very much. Yeah, I think you can have that. I think it's that just connection that you have with humans that I think everyone's born with. But like some person in LA, you're not gonna be able to have that connection with that you had with those people in the Canary Islands. I mean, I'm not sure why. Maybe they have a certain layer, something that happened that you just can't really get that connection. But these people in the Canary Islands, I don't think they have any. I think they're just free. That you get to see exactly who they are, and you get to have that connection.
That's a really good observation. Here in California especially, people are covered over by so much of the New World Order, technology, all these ideas about who you are and where you are. It's like everybody's putting a stamp on you. This is what you are, this is what you do.
Exactly.
And so that sensitivity is not allowed to come out. And guess what? Addiction in this country is going crazy. Addiction is not a gene. They have not been able to go, oh, that's the addiction gene. It has to do with sensitivity. We are very sensitive creatures, and some more than others. And it's that sensitivity that is, when it's suppressed, there's a rebellion going on. It wants to communicate, like you said. It doesn't know the words, it doesn't know how to communicate it, but it's picking up on something and it's feeling something so dynamically. They think there's something wrong with them. And they start suppressing those big, powerful sensitivities, these emotions that they're feeling, and they keep shutting themselves down because in this world, in this society, sensitivity is not encouraged like it used to. It's not what's the word? Innocent.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it seems like the universe is just giving you, it's just like handing you, hey, like here it is. Like they're literally giving you the feelings, but people just can't handle it. And they, like you said, suppress it, and it's a waste. Like you're getting the opportunity and you're throwing it away.
It's the interpretation. If you don't understand that, hey, there's a universe out there and it loves you and wants to communicate with you. It's really trying every way possible to get in there and touch your heart and get you to feel it so that you can commune with it and make it smile and make you smile at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get to the state of mind so I'm able to like receive those and understand those feelings, because like you said, like they put stamps on people, and no one in California or most people all over the world are not themselves. And I myself, I don't think I am. I'm still trying to figure out exactly who I am, because I strongly believe that everyone is completely different. Like there's no like lanes. There's no certain lanes. Like there's no categories. It's just everyone is their own thing, and most people just go into those lanes. They're pushed into those lanes.
We will never truly understand our identity. That's why it's hysterical when somebody says, "Oh, I know who you are."
Yeah.
Or, "I know you." It's like, really?
Yeah.
Because I don't. That's pretty profound.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me, starting with A and then going to Z? Sure, there's certain things about us that you can, articulate, and when it's said to you, you hear yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
But then most people, when they try to pigeonhole you into a lane, it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's not my identity, especially what you're going through right now, and going through your high school, at the end of your high school.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to tell you, this is what you are, this is what you should be doing, this is where you're going. And you're like, huh?
Yeah, it's hard. And I think like that's one of the hard things. Like if you overcome that obstacle, of society, of just like them pushing you into the lanes, bullying you into the lanes, some people. If you like overcome that, I think like you've got it. Like you have to overcome that challenge. It's not for free. You have to overcome that really difficult challenge of being different than the people around you. And I think once you get that, once you understand who you are, it's like you're flourished.
Yeah, I think when you understand that you don't know who you are intellectually, but you know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what resonates and talks to you and what doesn't. I'm gonna wear a Pink Floyd shirt.
Yeah.
Because I dig it.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
What is the barometer? It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. And that really is the most important barometer that we all seem to forget about, is what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something you can feel, and you don't have to intellectualize it.
Yeah. It's right there for you. And I heard you talk about you looked into your dreams. You listened to your dreams. What do you mean by that?
Since I was a small child, I've had the ability to do neat things in my dreams. It was much later when people started talking about out-of-body experiences. And it's like, I've been having those my whole life. They're fun, except it gets old after a while. And you want to move on. But in the beginning, it was so much fun. It was better than any movie or television show. It was limitless what I could do. I mean, I was being pulled and directed by forces I didn't understand, but they were playful. And I got to go travel in the quantum universe and experience other life forms, if you will, who were communing with me. And we weren't communing in words. It wasn't English. It was very symbolic and emotional and sincere. Sincerity was a big part of it, because they were earnest in their desire for me to have an experience with them.
It's a really, really confusing thing. It's a really interesting thing. I'm sure a lot of people have been very interested in. And it can't just, it's just hard to believe that it's just what your mind is spitting back at you. It's just what happens when you sleep. But there has to be something, it's just such an incredible experience. And such, the things you dream about, it's just, how is that possible? It seems so normal when you're dreaming it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, there has to be something there. It can't just be you're just, it's just nothing. It's just what your body does.
The thing about dreaming is it tunes you into synchronicity. And it's a reminder of if you're on track or off track. Because, the universe is trying to communicate with us, right? So how can it get to us? The subconscious mind,
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the right track. Oh my God, you just took a left-hand turn. Don't go that way.
Yeah.
So I feel that, sure, some people who are stuck in the matrix, if you will, because everybody knows that now, and they wouldn't get the importance of dreams. But I think a healthy psychology is always dreaming is a component of that, and talking about dreams and remembering dreams and getting good at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a muscle in us. And out-of-body experience, by the way, in this wonderful tribe in Africa, is rites of passage for every young person. They teach them how to go out of their body, and they have them do certain tasks that they have to complete while they're out of their body. So that they can become a man or a woman. You know, it's just lost in this Western civilization.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of intuitive things that, you know, so-called primitive man knows.